Popper here in Northeast Harbor, actually, today, having lunch at the First Community Cafe at the neighborhood house, and broadcasting down here. And brought my computer and said we could do the coaches show from here. Mark Shields down in Bar Harbor. Coach, tell us a little bit about how the week has gone. It's hard to believe we're taping this on Thursday. Another football game tomorrow night.
Yeah, it's going quickly, Chris. We have our homecoming game Friday night versus Camden Hills at 7:00. And, we're still kind of fighting through some injury and illness, Coach Shields included. My wife doesn't share much with me, but she decided to share her illness with me, which was really nice of her. Yeah.
Nice of Holly.
Yeah. But I'm here, still plugging along. Yeah, I mean, it's been that sort of year for us, being dinged up, and we had a team illness early in the year, and usually you go through one of those and then you're fine for the rest of the year. But for whatever reason, we have some guys that, like I said, and coaches as well, that are dealing with some illness, but we're hoping we can get everybody ready to go come Friday night for our homecoming game. And it's also senior night, so that's pretty exciting.
Yeah, I mean, and senior night, I know that MDI has undergone a bunch of senior nights this week with boys soccer, girls soccer, golf, and volleyball, and cross country. Don't want to miss anybody else. So it's the MDI football team's turn on Friday. And that's a happy and sad occasion, both at the same time.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, last year was the first time that I've experienced it as the father,
right?
With Jacob graduating, and it's a pretty emotional thing. It's
well, hold on. You had the girls, but I mean, it's the first time you've experienced on the football team.
Right.
You don't want to get in trouble with the girls wholly. I mean,
good
come
clarification.
On.
Yeah, good thing we clarified that. Yeah, as a football coach and having a player being my son on the team, that was pretty special for he and I to be able to do that together with his family. So, but yes, my older girls, Madeline and Delaney, I went through that with volleyball with them as well. So yes, it's just a special night.
Yeah. And how has the mood been at the school? I mean, homecoming weekend's a special time as well. I'm sure you're going to have a pep rally tomorrow or today. And then, of course, you'll have your team dinner.
Right. So we actually had a pep rally last week. They started the homecoming week halfway through last week, which was nice. So we had a pep rally, I think, on Wednesday, and then each day there's something, that the students are doing and faculty. Today happens to be bring your books to school in something other than a backpack. So that's always interesting. I think
Hannaford will come around and collect all the shopping carts at the end of the day.
Yeah, well, you and I watching baseball last spring, there was still a shopping cart out there by the baseball field from last year.
Yeah.
That a student used to cart his stuff around. But yeah, I think I saw a lobster crate today. That was kind of cool.
Yeah.
So yeah, the kids are pretty creative with this stuff. So yeah, so it's just been a fun week and a half, and I think the kids are excited for the homecoming game.
Now, that game tomorrow night or Friday night is at 7. So a little change as to what was normally the 6:00 start, but because there's a soccer game tomorrow afternoon, the game has, I guess because of the weather or whatever, the game now will take place at 7. So if you come early, you can have great food at the snack shack, but dress warmly as well.
Yeah, right. It looks like we're going to have some pretty nice weather the next few days.
Yeah.
But I would suspect, like you said, by 7:00 Friday night, it's probably going to be pretty crisp out there, I'd imagine.
Yeah, but if we know Dan Vibert, he will be in shorts, and He'll tough it out. No doubt
Sure.
about it.
The
No doubt.
Floridian should be in shorts. It makes sense in Maine.
Yes, excuse me.
Yep.
Absolutely. So, what have you been working on in practice this week to prepare for Camden Hills? We know Camden Hills is a high-powered offense, and have just lost one game, and that was a very close game. They had a lead and then lost to Lake Region, I think, in the fourth quarter.
Yeah, I mean, Camden Hills is the number one seed. They've been the top team for the last 2 or 3 seasons, really. And here they are once again. They lost a lot of kids from last year, but they've done a nice job. The younger kids stepping into roles, and yeah, they're high powered. I mean, they have a strong passing game. Their quarterback, he's a left-handed kid, number 7, and he can run and throw, so he's hard to contain. And then they have a strong running back / receiver, number 5. I'm not sure of his name, but he's one of the best running backs in the league. And then they have a solid offensive line up front. They have some nice tight ends to throw the ball to. So they're a handful. I mean, you don't win as many games as they've won the last few years and not be a quality football team. And then they play really good defense. They fly around on defense and they tackle well. And, they're well coached. So they'll be a real tough opponent for us Friday night.
Last week, you got plenty of reps for your number 2s and 3s. And I know, I mean, Trey DeGrasse played quarterback for a couple series as a freshman, and may not want to have a freshman as your quarterback, but it gives him great experience down the road.
Yeah, right. So against Mount Ararat, we got down late in the third and early fourth quarter, and I just decided, let's try to rest our guys where we've been so banged up this season, and give our 2s and 3s some varsity time, which is really cool on the varsity field, with the crowd. And I thought those kids played really well. They went out and they executed our offense and our defense, and I think they were excited to be out there. And, it's just fun to see them get that opportunity.
What do you want to say to the fans here? I mean, it's a last home game, regular season home game. Maybe there'll be a playoff home game. We certainly need to beat Camden Hills and Waterville to make that happen. But it's a last chance to come out and see the Trojans.
Yeah, right. So we're fighting for a playoff spot. Right now we're sitting at 3-3. We're still in the playoff picture, which is nice. A very tough opponent versus Camden, and then we wrap up. We have to go to Waterville. It's their senior day. They're going to be looking for a win. They're very well coached. So, yeah, it's just been a tough stretch the second half of the season, and we just have to come out and play hard, really. And I know our kids will do that. We've done that week in, week out. I never worry about that, and let the chips fall where they may. I would like to mention my seniors, if I could, Chris.
Yes, please.
Say a quick word about each. So these are in alphabetical order. First one, Garrett Ames. Garrett is a guy, he's been with us for 2 years now, and he's a guy that plays nose guard mostly. He's been playing some running back this year. High motor guy, loves football. He was a guy that we weren't sure where to put him 2 years ago, and then I discovered that his dad played nose guard in high school, maybe college as well, and like, what about nose guard, Garrett? And we stuck him there, and he's been a nice piece for us because he's a real quick guy on the defensive line, and in passing situations, he can get after quarterback. So he's done a nice job for us. Next guy is Isaac Beal. Isaac's been with us for 4 years. He's another guy that he's really come on this year as a senior. He has good speed. He's a pretty athletic dude, and he's been playing a lot of JV, but he gets into some of the varsity games, and he had a huge run the other night in the fourth quarter against Mount Ararat. So he's a guy that's he's really taking it seriously this year, and he's having a nice season. I'm happy for him. Jared Beekert, we all know number 9. Jared's been a nice addition to our program here the last 2 or 3 years. He came out, and I think he might have been injured early on in his career, and then by the time his junior year rolled around, he was a guy that we could really rely on for big play capability. And, he's a tough guy to cover if you're a defensive back because he's a tall, athletic kid. and this year we've had him also play a defensive back, which he's done a nice job. Next guy, James Downey. James, I don't know. James might be a starter for 4 years. I can't remember, at least 3. Just a big, strong kid. Works hard in the weight room. Real physical football player on both sides of the ball. Plays center for us. Plays defensive end. He's had some huge games for us. He had a huge game in the state championship game last year. Just a real nice leader for us. Just a great guy. Cal Hodgson. Cal, he's a guy that, he plays multiple sports. He's a baseball, basketball guy. And, it kind of warms my heart that he kind of has taken to football. When he was younger, it was kind of like, well, maybe not. And then once he hit high school and got in the program and saw some success, he's had a real nice career for us. Had some huge games last year. Once again, had a huge game in the state championship game, had a touchdown catch. Has been a really good leader for us and playing quarterback for us. He stepped in a role that, last year he was a tight end, and this year we put him at quarterback. That's quite an adjustment, but he took that on. Yeah, seriously, and he's done a real nice job. The next guy, Evan McKenzie. Evan is a tackling machine on defense. He's, he's like a laser out there, honestly. He's like a missile. He's a guy that most games, if you look at the stat sheet at the end of the night, he's the guy that has most of the tackles for us. And he's not a huge guy. No. If you look at him, you wouldn't think that, but he has a big heart and he's a tough kid. And we put him running the ball a little bit on offense this year, and he's done a nice job. So real happy for Evan. Next guy, Mitchell Matthews. Mitchell's been with us for 4 years. Awesome kid. Just a great, great kid. Comes to work every day, works hard, gives everything we ask of him. He's done a nice job being a leader for some of our younger kids. He's played some special teams for us this year at the varsity level, and he's going to be a guy that we're gonna miss because he's just one of those guys behind the scenes that really helps the program. Next guy, McCadden Morris. McCadden is new to football this year. I believe he's a big swimmer, is what I've been told.
Yes.
Decided to come out and play football this year. Super nice kid. Once again, a great leader for our younger kids. He'll come and talk to me about, what's going on sometimes with the dynamic of some of the younger guys and how he's helping and mentoring some of those kids. So it's really been a nice addition to have him. Sam Raish, our next guy. Sam's been with us for 4 years. Another great kid. Has done everything we ask. I kind of compare him to Mitchell Matthews. Those two guys, have just been great leaders for our younger kids. And Sam, he's another guy. He comes to work every day. He's going to work hard. He comes to practice, does what he can in the off season in the weight room, and has been a nice leader for our team. Mason Rose. Mason is a guy that he's just a big, strong dude. He got into wrestling here a couple of years ago, which I really think helped him. We ended up moving him to the offensive line last year, and that was a big help for us offensively. He's just a guy that can move people up front on both sides of the ball. Another high motor guy, always asking questions of how I can get better, and he's been a nice leader for us. And then lastly, Brady Thurston. Brady's a guy, been with us for 4 years. Really happy for Brady this year. He finally got his shot, broke into the starting lineup on offense and defense. And he had an interception last Friday night, I was really happy for him. And just a guy that works really hard to make himself better every day. So, I've been real pleased with this group of seniors. And some of them I've been with for 4 years now. And, I couldn't be more proud of them and really pleased for them, to be recognized tomorrow night for senior night.
All right. I think I'm going to be doing that because Mr. Hodgson will be down on the field. So it'll be a pleasure to read out all the names and the parent names to thank everyone on behalf of the high school and the sports business. All right, Coach. Thanks very much. I hope you have a great rest of the day. We'll see you tomorrow down in Bar Harbor. Again, the game Friday night starts at 7. not 6, so 7 o'clock start against Camden Hills. We hope you'll come on out and cheer on the Trojan. Thanks so much.
Awesome. Thanks, Chris.